Welcome back to This Week in Morgan County. I'm your host, Russell Mokhiber. Our guest this week, Morgan County Commissioner Bob Ford. Bob, we were talking about economic development. A couple rumors floating around town. One is a Tractor Supply going in opposite Sonny's south of town. What do you hear about that?
Well, I've heard that. I believe that's a pretty accurate statement from what I understand. They're in the process of it. I mean,
they're surveying the land. Have they purchased the land, do you know?
I can't swear to that. I've heard they have. Again, I don't know that to be a fact at this time. I don't know where they're at with the Planning Commission. I haven't talked to Alma to see where they're at, but I am under the understanding they've expressed interest in going across from Green Gate Road there in that area.
Okay, is that's Sonny's, across from Sonny's
Right,
Produce
Sonny's
down
Produce.
there, right?
Yeah, same area.
And has there been an application to the Planning Commission, do you know?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, but you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I believe it will.
Okay. Other development is Dollar General proposed store down on the southern part of the county. Big dispute over that. You're involved with that. You've said in the past that those who oppose it ought to get out of town. Go back to where they came from is what you've said. And I'm wondering why you believe that. Why do you believe people who oppose the Dollar General south part of town ought to go back to where they came from?
Well, I'm kind of glad you asked.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably, and don't misunderstand me, I'm no Donald Trump, okay? But I like to think I might be out of that mold a little bit. I have a habit of saying what I think sometimes. Does it come out in reality? Do I think for a moment all these people are going to pack up and move because of a Dollar General store? No. I think some of that comes out of, you got to understand where Bob Ford comes from. Okay, I'm a little bit of a libertarian. We've looked at zoning in our county. I was anti-against, as we discussed earlier. I'm pro-business. What people fail to realize is that bedroom communities don't work. I have never read one economic development study where it shows a bedroom community can survive. You have to have a certain amount of commercial industrial development. That's what pays the taxes. The residents don't pay taxes. Their tax bill is used to primarily take care of law enforcement, some basic needs, but it doesn't really give the county everything they need.
No, I get it, Bob. But I mean, the people down there, more than 400 signed a petition saying, don't put it right in a residential neighborhood. Put it in the business park.
Well,
what's wrong with putting it in the business park?
Here's the problem with that. First of all, if you want to talk about petitions, and you and I have talked about this, because there was a young lady that got a petition up shortly thereafter all the protests.
She works with you at the courthouse.
Yeah, but she didn't do it as a representative of the county commission, but she's a very nice person. And her and another lady there, neighbors, they got up people in that area to sign a petition. They wanted Dollar General.
Right, they got 120 signatures.
That's true. And I brought that up to you. You said, well, you said to me that day, because Russell, I'll talk to you anytime you want to talk.
Absolutely.
I've never denied not to talk to
I
you.
love it.
And I think that's the way government works. You talk to your adversaries or people who don't agree with you, and like me. You know, I look at that as being challenging. And you brought up to me about the petition. You said, well, if all you need is a petition, I can get you a petition. Well, and somebody did that because I was presenting a petition with 420 signatures. Well, when I get down the list and look at the petition, there's people over the county. And again, I know that had the Ginger Johnson and Peggy Ott, the people that took up that other petition, if they wanted to get 400 signatures, they probably could have scrounged it up. The petition's not important. What's important was they were just trying to show there's local support in that immediate area for the dollar store. Again, wherever Dollar General wants to go in my county, they're welcome to go. That's the way I view it. If you want to talk about a petition, in 2010, there was a major petition took. And that's where the voters of Morgan County spoke. And there was roughly probably close to 5,000 people voted in that election. And when they did, 80% of them rebuked zoning. They wanted nothing to do with it. They wanted a mixed community, and they voted on it.
But we've already agreed, Bob, that you support a form of zoning, which is no strip clubs in those areas. You support that form of zoning. It's just a question of where's the appropriate place for a Dollar General? Should it be right in a residential neighborhood? Or should it, that's the debate we're having. That's the community, and there's a debate in that community about where that, not saying don't put a Dollar General, is where should it go?
But my point is this,
yeah.
If the pro-zoners would have succeeded, That's exactly where a dollar store would have been.
Because it's
Because
zoned-
that
it would have been
whole
zoned
was zone commercial.
But it still might not happen because there is opposition. There's a court case. There's a petition saying put it in the business park. Don't put it right in a residential neighborhood. So what's your opposition to putting it in the business park? Why shouldn't it go there?
Because it's not for me to make that call. It's for Dollar General to make that call. It's their money they're spending. They got a lengthy process they got to go through to locate their store. And again, the irony of that all is if they'd have been across the street, nobody could have said a word. You see, what people need to understand, what created...
Wait a second. If they had gone across the street from the current place?
Exactly.
No, I think there would have been a battle.
No, there couldn't have been.
Why not?
Because here's what people don't get about the Dollar General store. First of all, we shouldn't even be talking about Dollar General because Dollar General did nothing to encourage any of this. All Dollar General did was talk to a developer that had a piece of property he wanted to sell. What created the problem is that he tried to take a subdivision that was platted for 8 or 12 lots or whatever and turn it into what's called under our subdivision regulations a PUD. And this is like a mixed development where you've got commercial and residential. When you switch that gear and you go from a residential subdivision to a PUD, and you change under the subdivision regulations, you're modifying your subdivision permit. So therefore, what he was asking for, to the best of my knowledge, was that he's already got infrastructure in place, underground utilities and different things, that, okay, I want to change to a PUD, okay? Now, he hasn't sold any properties in that subdivision, none. So theoretically, if it was a cornfield before he subdivided, it could still go back and be a cornfield.
No.
I
don't want to litigate the case. I understand.
No,
I understand.
But you got to keep Dollar General out of this because Dollar General don't even enter
No,
into the picture.
but if it wasn't for Dollar General, there wouldn't be an issue. They hired the developer to do this. And all I'm saying is, if Dollar General had decided to go across the street, there still would have been an issue because, it wouldn't have been a legal issue that way. But there would have been a political debate because the question is, where's the appropriate place for these kinds of stores? That's the question. And that's what the people there are upset about.
Well, and I said to people in Board County, you know who I blame for more of this than anybody? And I really do. You know, before I ran for commission, that's why people, I'm talking about back in 2000 now, why people encouraged me to run for commission back then, was I had certain views on certain things. And the thing that frustrates me more than anything is the real estate people in this county. And it's not just this county, it's probably same in Berkeley County, Jefferson County, I don't know. They don't tell people the whole truth. I used to sit in a restaurant and I'd see a young couple or older couple come in and they'd be there and you could tell they had the real estate books and they're reading it. And somebody would say, well, ask Bob over there, and I'd get talking to them. And what I would encourage them to do before they started believing all the real estate people is go do a little homework. Because either you're coming here from Virginia or you're coming here from Maryland. You need to understand that West Virginia government is an entirely different form of government than where you're coming from. We have what's called a central government. And this creates so many problems for people moving here. And what I mean by that, if you live in Maryland, you got a pothole problem, you call up the county roads. If he doesn't fix it, you go to county commission. And the county commission's over Department of Highways. They can fix your pothole. Don't come to me, I can't fix your pothole. I can't fix anything. I'm a county commissioner. I get paid to run the courthouse, provide space for other elected officials, and I have a very narrow scope of things I can work on or change. And what I do have the authority to work on has to have the blessing of our legislature because they do it in the form of a code. So, not trying to be condescending to anybody, but study a little bit about West Virginia culture, about the central form of government, how does it work? Don't come bitching to me about the school system, okay? Because I don't have nothing to do with that.
Got it.
Now, Washington County does. Their county commission's over the entire county.
Okay, but you are also an advocate. You want the county to develop in a certain way. You're an advocate, for example, for a Wal-Mart at the north end of the county. You want one to go there. You've been pushing, calling Wal-Mart, trying to get them there. What's the status of a Wal-Mart at the north end of the county?
Well, again, county commission plays a very little role. When I talked to the site selector from Wal-Mart and expressed to him I had some acreage I think he might want to take a look at, because again, I'm a firm believer that Wal-Mart will either wind up here or in Hancock. And I've looked at the economic impact it will have on people locally. And again, I don't feel the economic impact is going to be any different if the Wal-Mart is here or if it's in Hancock. We're right for the picking. We got the numbers in residency requirements for that. We meet that challenge. It's only a matter of time and when Walmart decides to come. If the choice is made either here or across the river, I'd rather for it to be here, because I'd rather us have that tax base than Washington County. For one thing, I'd rather we get the jobs instead of Washington County.
And when you say I have a piece of property, what property are you talking about?
Well, I'd rather not discuss
Is it your property?
No, but
It's not.
there's a piece of property available where Walmart could go, and their site selector looked at it, and he felt the same way. But there's a process you go through, and it's a pretty lengthy process. It takes over 3 years to site Walmart.
How close is it? How close?
We're not anywhere.
Not close. But what do you
Probably be
what,
reelected before we.
what about the and you're going to run again in 2018?
I won't say I won't. Doors open.
Now let's talk a little politics, local politics. Brad Close, Morgan County Commissioner Brad Close is up next year. Word is he's not going to run. Who will the Republicans run? Who do you think? Who's being rumored on who's going to run?
I haven't heard one candidate step up. I haven't heard anybody even express interest. Matter of fact, I questioned Brad about that the other day. I said, "Have you been talking to anybody? I mean, have you gotten any encouragement?" I haven't heard anything. I mean, any way, shape, or form.
Okay, but Brad's not running.
Well, he states he's not. He's been pretty adamant about it. I mean, he tells everybody that, so I have to assume it's true. I mean, I didn't at first. I mean, because everybody said, well, I'm going to serve one term. I hear that out of every commissioner gets elected, I'm going to serve one term. They should run for 2 terms, because it takes you the first term to learn what you can do and can't do. And then usually by your second term, you got a pretty good handle on what you can do. And again, I think any commissioner thinks they can learn it quicker than that, then they must be geniuses.
Who would you like to see run? Do you have any ideas?
I don't think about that. I don't really.
But there's going to be someone sitting with you on the commission. It's going to be. I mean, you want to know who's. I mean, you must say.
All I would like is a candidate, in my view, and I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, to be quite honest. I would just like for a candidate, whoever they run, is that when you get elected to county commission, politics is out the window. That we represent 18,000 people. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and Libertarians. Just keep that in the back of your mind. We represent a broad base of people. We don't make laws based on political platforms. We don't make laws, we just govern. And what I mean by that, I don't think, as I've seen behavior of the past commission, their behavior was horrible, because they made a lot of political moves. And when you do that, it wrecks a lot of stuff. And it wrecks a lot of things that are in place. And that's not why we get elected. We get elected to move the county forward. I think the past administration had set this county back. There's so many issues, from public safety, that were ignored. And political appointments were made. Stuff was ignored. I can give you an example. We lost tens of thousands of dollars in grant money that would have been available if they'd have proceeded the addressing and mapping ordinance that we passed since I came back. There was funding available to help with this. I was able to get the commission to pass and adopt this ordinance. We're going to be road naming and putting signs up on over 900 roads in this county that desperately need to have road signs, so that public safety people can find houses when they need to.
And you also
that was ignored.
We got less than a minute here, but you also took the county courthouse. Very few people know this, from 0% renewable to almost 100% renewable on geothermal energy
Within 60 days.
Within 60 days. So I want you to promise me that we'll come back and do this again, because we just
anytime. I think it's a great forum.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure.